Springstead.
He's on the right of your screen. The man facing you is Don Denkinger, and on the left is veteran John Flaherty from Falmouth. Because Bob Stewart is from Cumberland, Rhode Island. That's Sal Bando, the third baseman, out there representing the Oakland Ball Club, and Eddie Popowski is out there for the Red Sox. So they have finished their discussion at the plate, and momentarily 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. He was up 4 times yesterday and then taken out of the game, and in his 4 at-bats, he had 1 run batted in and 2 runs. He's a real fine base runner. In fact, he's caught up to Maury Wills as the most prolific base stealer in the majors on the basis of games played per stolen base. Campaneris beats out the bunt, and he is on with a hit. Here it is again. You see that he pushes it down to it first. Jones came over and took it. Culp going over to cover the bag, sliding in is Campaneris, and he is safe at first base. So Campy is on. There is manager Dick Williams of the Red Sox out there talking with Marty Springstead, the first base umpire on the call. I'm mentioning Campaneris joining Wills as the most prolific base stealer as you look at Joe Rudy come up. Wills has stolen 502 bases in his 1,439 Major League games. That's going into this year. An average of 1 steal every 2.87 contests. And Campaneris, with 230 steals in 659 games, has the identical average. You see the size of his lead, and he is driven back. Rudy is batting .182 with no home runs, 1 run batted in. 1 for 5 yesterday. Ball 1. Ray Culp is making his 16th start of the year and his second against Oakland. He beat them 2-1 on the 14th of May with Chuck Dobson pitching against him.
Ken, this superimposed picture on the screen, you see how Campaneris takes the lead. He doesn't quite take one as long as Maury Wills. Wills is off maybe 3 more feet.
Strike, 1-1. Well, that must be about as far as anybody gets off then, I would have to think, John.
Ken, he takes the longest lead of anybody I ever saw. Awfully long. Incidentally, I said Culp was 9-2. He is 9-3.
The runner is going. This pitch is a strike. Safe at second. Campaneris has stolen another base, and that is number 26. He stole one yesterday. Tommy Harper has been off to a great start with Seattle in the stolen base department, and Campaneris is off to a great start with this club. Harper has over 30 the last time I looked. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count on Joe Rudy. Lou Brock of the Cardinals ranks 3rd behind Campaneris and Wills. Ball 3. Brock and Campaneris have both stolen more than 50 bases in each of the last 4 seasons to become the first major leaguers to perform this feat since Eddie Collins had a 6-year streak from 1909 to 1914. Ty Cobb also had a 6-year streak of 50 stolen bases. Campaneris has gone 51, 52, 55, and 62. Three and 1. You know, yesterday we had quite a thing, and we were talking about the 10 runs batted in. Well, on September 16th, 1924, Jim Bottomley of the Cardinals set a major league mark for driving home the most runs in a single game. In the first inning, he singled and drove in 2. In the second, he doubled and drove in 1. In the fourth, he homered a grand slam. Pitch is foul back just below us. And in the 6th inning of that game, Bottomley homered, drove in 2. In the 7th, he singled and drove in 2. And in the 9th inning, he singled to drive in 1. 6 hits in the ball game, and 12 runs batted in one 9-inning game. Joe Rudi strikes out. So here's the man who did it all yesterday. He said it was the most fantastic day he's ever had in sports, and he's played them all. And he gets a round of boos. He really put it together. 5 for 6 and 10 runs batted in. The American League record was 11 by Tony Lazzeri, and that day in 1936 against Philadelphia, Lazzeri had 3 home runs and a triple, and barely missed a 4th home run, according to Joe DiMaggio, who was there. There's the palm ball, ball 1. Jackson is batting .266 with 22 home runs, which leads the league, and 45 runs batted in, which puts him right up in there with the top men. He's had quite a series altogether, including Friday night's game when he hit a long home run, a line drive over the Red Sox bullpen. Ball 2. Our congratulations go to Springfield Tech, the state champions, with a 7-0 win over Newton yesterday. Tech ends the season with 20 wins, no losses, 37 wins in a row. Runner going, and the pitch foul to Bobby Hoffman, the first base coach. Also yesterday, the University of Massachusetts won 2-0 over favored Southern Illinois in the NCAA World Series at Omaha, as John Kitchen fanned 11 and pitched a 3-hit game. UMass now 22-8. Tom Semino drove in both runs. Kitchen got his 8th in a row, with only one man reaching second. Campaneris back to the bag, and Jackson ready to go at it. 2-1. Fouled off. 2-2. Jackson gives a great deal of credit to the third base coach, John McNamara, and to the batting coach of the Athletics, the great Joe DiMaggio. He says that Joe has really helped him, and Joe feels that Reggie has the tools to be a superstar in this game. He said sometimes he goes after bad pitches. That's one of his big problems. Rico trying to keep Campy close. 3-2. You're getting a pretty good idea of how a veteran right-hander who knows the ropes will pitch to a hot hitter, the way Culp is working against this fellow right now. He's been in and out, and he's given him nothing fast except that last pitch, which he tried to slide past him. Curveball, strike 3. The indication was that he went through. So Jackson is out of there as Culp cagily gets him. So with 2 men out now and a man on second, the batter is Sal Bando, whose average is .269 with 10 homers and 29 runs batted in. Bando was 1 for 5 yesterday. He also had a walk and was hit by a pitch. Ball 1. The runner goes, the throw to third base, and he is safe at third. So Campaneris has now stolen second and third base and has 27 on the year. Ball 2. Yesterday, the Red Sox had 6 errors. On May 1st, 1901, the Tigers played the White Sox, and the Tigers made 12 errors. 2 years later, they turned it around, and the White Sox made 12 against the same club, the Tigers. May 6, 1903. Campy halfway down. Ball 3. He was just about halfway down the line. Enough, certainly, so that might have bothered Ray. Ray gives him a look now. 3-1. Ball 4. Bando goes to first base. So now Culp will pitch to a fellow who used to pitch against in high school in Austin, Texas, Danny Cater. Cater now makes his home in Pennsylvania, but he and Ray were high school opponents in Austin. Danny with a very respectable .281 average, 3 homers, 34 runs batted in. Ball 1. He came in the 8th inning yesterday, and he was 1 for 2. He had a double. Ball 2. Strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Red Sox, with 36 wins, 21 losses, are second in the East, 5 behind. And Oakland, winning 29 and losing 25, are 1 percentage point ahead of Minnesota in the West. Oakland has won 3 and Boston 1 of the 4 meetings this year. The foul tip, and you see Campaneris, he wasn't sure until he saw the signal from Bob Stewart, and he came 2/3 of the way down the line. 2-2. It's great to watch a base runner like Campaneris. I think you see a fellow like this that can really run, and he adds a great deal of excitement to a ball game.
Ken, you are absolutely right. That's one of the prettiest things in this game of baseball, is to watch a guy who can really dance, as they say. Have good speed, and they can take advantage of it. Don Clendenin at Pittsburgh, I thought, was one of the prettiest runners I had ever seen. Campaneris and Wills are just great.
3-2 now on Cater. It's been a strange day weather-wise for you fans out of state. Sun comes out and then it disappears behind the clouds for a while, but it's been warm consistently. 3-2, 2 outs, so Bando will run. Way outside, and Danny Cater gets first base, so Culp has loaded them up here. 3 men on, 2 men out, and Rick Monday coming up as Gibson and Culp have a conference. Monday is batting .260, 2 homers, 12 runs batted in, and yesterday he had 3 for 6. Culp struggling here, gave up a bunt single to Campaneris, then he struck out Rudy and Jackson, swinging and then called. Now he's walked 2. Ball 1. With Jackson, other than 1 pitch, he went pretty much with the palm ball. Well, actually 2 pitches. He curved him twice. That was the palm ball he just threw. Foul back. 1-1. Ray seems to throw that pitch more to the left-handed batters than the right, although he'll use it on both. Off the glove, out to Schofield, on to Jones, and they get him. He's out of it. So in the first inning, no runs, 1 hit, 3 Oakland runners left, and after a half inning, it's Oakland nothing and Boston coming up. Might have been all that frustration on Friday night. I kept jumping up and down every time I hit that ball. He hit robbed of a home run by Jackson. Ball 2. Nash is 6'5", weighs 230 pounds. First day he reported to the Athletics when they were the Kansas City Athletics. He went into Detroit and didn't know about that cab fare from that old airport out in the woods in Detroit. They don't use it much anymore. Willow Run. They use Metropolitans. About a $20 cab ride. 2-1. So Nash went as far as he could go and then had to take a bus into the Tiger Hotel. The Detroit hotel, that is, for where they stay in Tiger Town. Two and 2. Nash, 6'5". He weighs 230 now. He won't weigh that much in about an hour. Detroit plays at Kansas City today. Wilson will work against Nelson. Cleveland's at Minnesota with Hargan and Boswell. Baltimore at Chicago for 2. McNally and Nyman will pitch in the first one. None of those games have started yet. Schofield is called out on strikes, and he's protesting with Bob Stewart. With 1 away, Dalton Jones is coming up. California and Washington have started, and it's 0-0 in that one. Messersmith against Moore, but they have been delayed there because of rain. Jones last year was 2 for 15 with Nash for 133. His average this season is 251 with 3 homers, 16 runs batted in. Bear in mind that Larry Haney, the catcher, is brand new today with his club, acquired from Seattle for John Donaldson, so he's got to probably check more than most catchers, naturally, to be sure that he's on the same page with the pitcher. Strike 1. In another American League game, Seattle nothing and New York batting in the last half of the first inning at New York. Talbot against Bonson. Strike 2. In the National League, Atlanta 3, Pittsburgh nothing at the end of 2. Houston and St. Louis, it will be Wilson against Gibson in that one. Cincinnati 1, Chicago nothing at the end of 3.5 and the first of 2. Again, Haney has to talk to his pitcher. Philadelphia will play at San Diego later. New York at Los Angeles, and Montreal will play a doubleheader at San Francisco. So that's the way it is elsewhere today. Amby Anderson, our chief usher at the ballpark, tells us that William McGee of 11 Egan Way in Brighton is 100 years old today, watching the Red Sox in action. Third baseman Bando over to Cater. So there are 2 men out, and the batter is Carl Yastrzemski. Yaz batting .282, has 17 homers and 45 runs batted in. And he batted well against Odom last year and batted well against him yesterday. And he batted well against Nash, too. He was 7 for 13 with Nash for .538. He was 6 for 10 against Odom. Odom doesn't know what to do, he says. Strike 1.
I was quite surprised what Odom said about pitching to Yaz, Ken. He said he hit some good pitches on him. He's going to have to do something differently with him, even if he has to walk him. I thought it was a pretty good statement.
Well, if your team gets 21 runs, you don't have to worry too much, I guess, Jim. 1 ball, 1 strike. You see the shot of the wind blowing out. It is blowing out toward the outfield. Foul back, and Larry Haney comes back, and he's got it. And the wind helped him on that one, as it looked like that ball was going into the seats, but it drifted back in. And that's all for the Red Sox. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on at the end of 1. It's 0-0. Teacher, a project which has been responsible for sending thousands of pounds of gifts and contributions to American men in the orphanages of Vietnam. This is one of his many activities, and they're going to miss him very much. Mr. Ronald Thomas, 26-year-old teacher at Matignon High School in Cambridge. Reggie Smith takes a ball. So they have brought him to the game today. And I think it's just indicative of the wonderful young people that we have in this country. Smith is batting .318 with 9 homers and 38 runs batted in. .299 left-handed. Ball 2. Reggie wants the pine tar rag. Petrocelli on deck, and Tony Conigliaro will follow. Smith 1 for 8 with Nash a year ago. 2 balls, 1 strike. Strike, 2-2. In the Red Sox notes talking about the father and son's game, Bill Crowley's got down here that the designated pinch hitter is Chris Garbowski, who will be assisted by his grandfather, Eddie Popowski. Eddie was very proud to have young Chris here today. Breaking ball misses, and it's 3-2. Smith leading off in the 2nd inning. No score. The Yankees have taken a 2-0 lead over Seattle at the end of 2. Baltimore and Chicago scoreless at the end of 1. Cater throws to Nash. Smith is retired, 1 away. Nash went over there instinctively that time. He was right on the ball getting to first. Here's Rico Petrocelli with 20 homers, 39 runs batted in, and a .328 average. George Sullivan started a series on him in the Herald Traveler this morning, which I enjoyed reading. First of a series, the Rico Petrocelli Nobody Knows, and it's really interesting. I found out a few things that I didn't know, and I've been traveling with this fella since 1966. Ball 1. One of the things that I found out, for example, was that he was an all-metropolitan New York high school basketball player and was offered many scholarships as a basketball player to college. Youngest of 7 sons, family from Abruzzi, Italy. 1 ball, 1 strike. We have a great many people in the Quincy area who are originally from Abruzzi. And I'm proud to be an honorary member of the organization they have. Petrocelli 2 for 8 with Nash a year ago. Let up pitch, line to left. High off the wall. Rico around first, going for 2. And he is out at second base. Green taking the throw in, and Petrocelli is out trying to make a double out of a single. Rick Monday, the center fielder, threw the ball, so he is out 8-4. Green taking it. Monday has a fine arm. So does Jackson, the right fielder. Here's Conigliaro. Tony C. batting .264 with 10 homers and 38 runs batted in. Ball one. Last year, Monday was 4th in the league in assists with 11. One ball, one strike. Jackson, the right fielder with this ball club, was 2nd in the league in assists with 14. Now Haney and Green and Nash get together.
Ken, they're probably going over the signs again. Evidently, Haney is new on this ball club. He just reported either this morning or late last night. And I'm sure that Dick Green isn't quite sure of the signs, and neither is Nash, because Haney has been out there about 3 or 4 times, and they have to get things straight. So we'll see if they got them straightened out here now. We'll have to watch Haney a little closer.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. We have on hand today a group of AMVETs and their sons from post 53 of the AMVETs. Two and two on Tony. Strike 3. Conigliaro is out, and that's all for the Red Sox in the 2nd inning, as Nash gets his 2nd strikeout. So there were no runs, 1 hit, nobody. Red will lead with Campaneris, who beat out a bunt in the 1st inning for their only hit. They got the bases loaded in the 1st after Rudy and Jackson followed Campy by striking out. Culp walked 2. Ball 1, he was going to bunt again. But Ray got Rick Monday on a 1-4-3 ground ball, and then in the 2nd he got the side in order. Notice how this fellow crouches now. Ball 2. John, what effect, if any, would that have on the strike zone as far as the umpire is concerned?
Well, I think it just condenses it, Ken. It has to be from the knee to the shoulder or to the letters. If it's in that area, it has to be a strike. Look how low he is. Ooh.
Foul back, 2-1.
He straightened him up with that pitch
Boy,
pretty well.
He did. Well, I know, but doesn't the umpire have to compensate for that crouch and go by the normal height of the man?
No, that's his normal standing position, Ken. You have to go by that, so he has to condense his thinking on a pitched ball.
Ball 3, 3-1. We're talking about Jackson and Monday's throwing. Del Unser led the American League in assists last year with 22. White and Jackson had 14. That's Roy White of New York. Well, there he goes. Campaneris is on. 3rd walk given up by Culp. Yastrzemski was right up in there as usual with 12. He and Jose Cardinal each had 12. And then came Monday with 11. Runner at first, nobody out, and Joe Rudy is up. He struck out in the 1st inning. Ball 1. One thing about Gibson, there are a lot of catchers who, when you get a fellow like Campaneris on first base, will stick pretty much with the fastball. He won't call for breaking pitches, but Gibby will. The runner is back safely. That's one reason why so many batters like to bat behind a fellow like a Campaneris or a Wills or a Brock, because they figure that most of the time they're going to get the fastball. Again, Campaneris is back. A lot of these really good base runners, too, draw an awful lot of throws on purpose because they know it helps them in studying that pitcher. Gibson coming back, and Russ makes the catch. Rudy fouls out. Campaneris at first, no score in the third, and Jackson up. Well, Culp really worked very effectively with Jackson the first time and got him on a call third strike.
Last time on Jackson, Ken, the 2-2 pitch was a real good one, just missing for a ball 3. He has pitched very, very well against Jackson the first time. Outstanding.
Ball 1. The California-Washington game has been postponed because of rain. They started to play and they were unable to continue. The ball goes into right. Campaneris going around to third base, really putting it on as Conigliaro comes in and throws the ball way off to the left, and the run scores. The ball actually skipped into shallow right. I think it hit the glove of Jones at first base. And of course, with Jackson up, Conigliaro had to play a very deep right field. So Jackson winds up on second base, and Campaneris is all the way home. Jackson gets a double. Campaneris scores, and it's 1-0 Oakland. And Jackson got something in his eye and cleaning his face off out there with the help of John McNamara and the Oakland trainer. 1-0 Athletics. And that would be the 46th run batted in for Jackson. Sal Bando up. He had a walk his first time. Yastrzemski back as far as he can go, and he's got it. He throws to second base, right on the button for a double play. So he decoyed him again. Bando flies to left field, and the throw in turns it into a double play. Fine effort by Yastrzemski. 1 run, 1 hit, and nobody left. And after 2 1/2, it's 1-0 Oakland. At it in. Last year he faced Nash only twice, and he was hitless against him. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike on George.
Ken, on that fly ball that Yastrzemski caught in left field, he gave Jackson a real good decoy. He turned to the wall and kind of give it a look, and then Jackson come up about 10 more feet.
2-1 the count.
I'm sure Hank Bauer says, well, you can. when he gets into the dugout, of course he didn't go in the dugout, but Hank has been in his ballpark many times, and you really can't take too long a lead when that ball is hit towards left field, because you have to make sure that ball hits the wall. But I thought Yastrzemski did a good job in decoying Reggie to go up 10, 15 more feet than he really intended to.
Well, he's done that a number of times this year. He's really a great faker when it comes to pulling that play. 3-1. In this ballpark, at least, a fellow that I thought played pretty good defensive ball in left field was Ted Williams.
Sure did.
3-2.
You know, Ken, they say left field is the easiest field to play, but when you're in a ballpark like this, you have to be a pretty good outfielder, because that ball comes off that wall a lot of crazy ways. Williams and Yaz play it very, very well.
And that's strike 3 to Scott. Third strikeout for Nash. The batter is Gibson. His average .212, 1 homer for Russ, and 8 runs batted in. 2 for 4 with Nash a year ago. Ball 1. Foul ball off the first base side, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, that double play by Yaz brings to mind an unassisted double play without touching the ball by Alvin Dark in 1959. He was playing for the Cubs, and in the second inning, Stan Lopata hit a single for Milwaukee. Johnny Logan followed with a hit, sending Lopata to second. Then Burdette hit a grounder to third, and before Al could field the ball, Lopata crashed into him. The umpire, Ed Sudol, ruled interference and called both men out, so Dark was credited with an unassisted double play, and he never touched the ball. There is a base hit for Gibson. With 1 out, there's a runner on first base, and the batter is Ray Culp. His average at 190, no home runs and 2 runs batted in. Bando coming up the line. Foul ball. John, you've played some third base. Now, Bando really comes up there. What do you think of that idea?
Well, this is almost a bunting situation, Ken. Usually on the first pitch, he comes almost in and shakes your hand. Now, let's see what he does on the second pitch, because a lot of times a fellow like Ray Culp, who can handle the bat, all he has to do is square away and just push the ball. He could push the ball right by him. Some managers believe in that.
One and one. Well, Lonborg is good at it, and he does it. He'll try to do it on his own sometimes.
If you can swing that bat and you have your infielders moving, you have an advantage, Ken. There's Goodman, Rizzuto, Fox.
Campaneris manages to get Culp, so Ray got done what he wanted to get done, but in a little different fashion. There's no sacrifice involved, of course, but Campy was a little over anxious, trying to turn it into a double play. So there are 2 out now with a man on second base, and the duck is up, Dick Schofield. Foul tipped into the mid, strike one. One ball, one strike on Schofield. Dick's youngster, Dick Schofield Jr., who is 6, played in the game today. He's a good-looking young ball player, right-handed batter. Ball 2. Mike Yastrzemski played 2, and as I mentioned, I interviewed Mike, and I said, "Who's your favorite ball player?" And he said, "My father," which I thought was kind of nice.
Did you see young Mike swing that bat?
He swings it pretty good, doesn't he?
Pretty good. Yeah. Schofield swung it. Bimbo Martelli had a couple of good rips, too.
Not bad.
A cute game.
Foul back. They kid Dick Schofield, you know, because he's so small. They said that his son would be able to wear his uniform in the game. And they said his oldest son couldn't be here today because he was in college. He's a veteran, and he takes a lot of ribbing, but he's quite a guy and quite a ball player. Foul back. He does not really have a son in college. I better clear that up right away. Two and two the count. Runner at second, 2 out. Oakland ahead 1-0 in the last half of the third. Dick Green makes the play at first base to retire the side. And that's all, and we'll take another look at that one as Schofield almost gets it past him. But Green, ranging far to his left, is over there and manages to come up with a baseball. And from that kneeling position, throws to first base. Schofield is out, and he saves a run. After 3, it's 1-0 Oakland.
Thank you very much. Very complimentary today. We're set to go in a 1-0 ball game. This one spanked out toward left center and right in there for a base hit. Cater is on. Reggie throws in, and the A's lead with a single in the 4th inning. 3rd hit off Culp. Rick Monday bounced out in the 1st inning, flicked off Culp's glove, and was thrown out by Schofield. Very well hit toward the deepest part of the bullpen. Back for it is Smith, and he can't get it. Nobody can. Home run. Rick Monday makes it 3-0 Oakland, and the Athletics continue to maul. That is his 3rd home run of the year, and he gets RBIs 13 and 14, and very quickly it's 3-0. Ball towards the point of the bullpen, way out in right center. Well, the tandem of Jackson and Monday are at it. Dalton grounded to third base his first time up. Jonesy had not had a slump this season until the last week, and he's been in one, trying to battle his way out of it. He's dropped quite a few points in his average. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 now. There is number 8, waiting to be at the plate. And it's a foul ball. 2 and 2. What would have been ball 3 just glanced off the bat. Jim Nash, Rookie of the Year in '66. A well-hit ball. Great stop by Cater. Throws him out. What a bunch of plays this infield is making. Dalton Jones, and watch this again. There it goes. Cater diving on that stop.
That's quite a play, Ned. He just threw himself at that ball. That's the way they've been playing all this whole series against the Red Sox. Everybody, Rudy made a fine catch. Mundy made a fine catch. Reggie Jackson made a fine catch. Campaneris made a good play the other night. Green made one Friday night. He made another one today, and now you just saw the other one. This club is really hustling.
And Bando made a couple of robberies out in Oakland against the Red
Absolutely.
Sox. Here's Yaz up, taking a strike. Yastrzemski fouled out in the first inning. It's 3-0 Oakland leading.
Ned, that's a sign of a good ball club when they can do these kind of things. In the same way the Red Sox have done it so far, because we're up higher in the race.
There's a well-hit ball to center. Way up she goes, and back goes Monday to make a catch. Well, that's the way it's been going, is right. That ball couldn't have gone much farther and stayed in the ballpark. It was hit very well to straightaway center. And here it goes again. Watch it on the replay. Boy, I'm telling you. What do you have to do?
I don't know. We've hit some balls good today, Ned, and we just can't get a base hit.
Back live now. Another. There's 3 fielding plays in a row. The one on Schofield to end the third, and these 2 this inning that have been out of the ordinary. You don't just say, well, they're paid to make that kind of play, because, well, maybe they are, but you don't see it that often. By all members of a ball club. This club is hot. And you make those plays, and you get your pitcher out of trouble, and you win that way.
Just, you know, the crowd here has been receptive to this young ball club, too, Ned, which helps.
Ball 1 to Reggie Smith.
As you remember when we were out there, a couple of the players were taking shots at the fans. There was no one in the ballpark, but here, so much enthusiasm and applause that they're getting with it.
They must wonder. They thought it was a Red Sox crowd out in Oakland. Nobody was cheering for the home club. There's a foul ball back, and it's 1-1 to Smith. Two out in the 4th inning. Oakland ahead 3-0.
Well, another thing, Ned, when you get that good hand on the road, it's doubly appreciated by the player. They at least say, well, those fans up there really appreciate a play, regardless of who it does, because everyone that has made a good play in this series have been granted great ovations.
Check swing, and it will be charged by Campaneris. Can't make the play. Base hit. A single for Reggie Smith. That was one of those things, when you saw it bounce out there, you kind of had the feeling that it would be a very short and difficult hop and a tough one. Just the way it was bouncing. 2 down. Smith at first and Rico up. He singled to left field in the second, hit off the wall, and was out trying to stretch it on a fine throw by Rick Mundy. He cut him down at second base. Red Sox have 3 hits now. Strike. Rico's trouble in the second inning was that he hit the ball too hard. If he'd lifted it a little bit more off the wall, he had a chance at a double, but that was a line drive. Ball. 1-1. Oakland 3 runs, 4 hits. The Red Sox no runs, 3 hits. There's Mr. Shortstop. Back in there today. Everything happened to the club yesterday besides the 21-7 loss. All sorts of illnesses, ailments, cuts, bruises. Out of play. 1-2.
You know, Dick Green looks a little lighter to me this year than he did a couple of years ago, Ned. I didn't see him at all last spring, but I did see him 2 years ago, and I thought he was a little bit heavy, but he seems to be all right this year. He's much better shape physically. He looks a lot thinner.
Playing a good ball, and he's got a better attitude, I think, about it than he had before. Two and two. With more brands than ever to choose from, more smokers than ever agree unanimously, me and my Winstons, we've got a real good thing, a real good taste. 2-2 to Petrocelli. Two out. To the left side, Campaneris will go long to first and get Petrocelli. He's done. It's dropped by Cater. Cater dropped the ball. Error, and let's have it again. A long throw had to be made by Campaneris as he took it in the hole. Here it comes. The ball and Petrocelli getting there very close. The ball beating Rico, but then skipping away from Cater. Error charge to Danny Cater. Well, it's right after he made a fine play to lead off this inning. He drops what is a playable throw to him. A good play by Campy would have had, and it would have had Petrocelli had Cater been able to hold on to the ball. That's the first error of the game, and here's Tony with 2 on and 2 out. He struck out on curveballs his first time up. 3-0, Oakland leads. Wind blowing out. Strike. One strike to Conigliaro. He got a fastball that time by him. Curve misses. 1-1. Lou Krause throwing in the bullpen for the Oakland Athletics. He was the fellow who did so well Friday night. And it's 2-1 to Tony. Those fielding plays loom very large for Mr. Nash right now. The ones made by Cater and Mundy. Because since that time, there's been an infield hit and an error. 2 base runners. Ball 3. Haney talking to Nash. And the Athletic High Command. 40 is Bill Posdell, and right next to him is manager Hank Bauer.
And there's Joe DiMaggio, too, Ned, number 5. Nash hasn't dared Conigliaro after the first pitch. He threw him a real hard fastball the first pitch, but then he's come back with 3 straight curves and he's missed.
All right, it's 3-1 to Konig. Campaneris over to first. This one is held, and that's all for the Red Sox threat in the 4th. They're out of there with no runs. 1 hit, there was 1 error, and 2 left. After 4, the score is Oakland 3, Boston nothing. Has turned this ball game a little bit in the direction of the Athletics. He has had an infield hit, a bunt single in the first inning, stolen 2 bases. He has walked and scored. So he's 1 for 1, and here he is to lead off another inning. And this is the 3rd straight inning, the 3rd time he has led off an inning. Look at that crouch. Ball 1.
Ned Paul, our engineer, made a pretty good observation. I say a pretty good, it's a good one. He says, why not walk Nash and make him hit with Nash on first base? But, Paul, you always take that out if you can.
There's Schofield is playing in a little bit to take care of Campy's speed, and he got him. They have the infield shortened up when Campaneris is at bat, and it paid off that time. 1 away in the 5th. Joe Rudy, has struck out and fouled out. And he's had a couple of fine plays in this series. Friday night in left field, he made 2 good catches. Ball 1. Third base coach John McNamara making that play. Of course, in this series, even though losing, the Red Sox losing, Yastrzemski has just played the words right off the page. He's done it all, especially yesterday, and he has an assist today in the outfield. Ball 2, 2-1. Strike. Good slider by Culp. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Score, if you just came in somewhere along the line, is 3-0, Oakland leading, and they're batting in the 5th inning. And a base hit. Rudy's on. That sounded like a hollow smack off the bat. Didn't hit it well, but it hit it well enough. Here's Reggie Jackson. He has struck out and singled in a run, or doubled in a run, beg your pardon. They changed that single to a double in the 3rd inning. He's had a fair series.
He sure has.
Ball 1.
He has fine actions, Ned.
So strong. Not in time to get Rudy.
DiMaggio says when he controls the strike zone a little bit better, he's going to be some kind of hitter.
Well, I'll say. He has 171 strikeouts last year, and that bothered him a little. 2-0. Culp has given up 5 hits. He has fanned 5 and walked 3. Fair ball, base hit down the line. It'll go for 2 or more. Rudy rounding third being sent on. He'll score, and Jackson has a triple. It's 4-0. Mercy. Reggie Jackson has had a double and a triple and 2 RBIs this afternoon. Well, let's see. That's 47 runs batted in on the season. He might be near the top, which was held by Killebrew. Ray Culp slapped around by Jackson, scoring Rudy from first base. 4-0 Oakland. And Sonny Siebert again in the bullpen. Infield in. Sal Bando, the batter, is walked and had it flied out into a double play. There's ball 1. Streaked home, and it'll be an error charged to Culp. Ray making an error, and Jackson coming home. So the troubles continue to mount for the Red Sox here in this series. Darrell Johnson approaching the mound. Four nothing, or 5-0 now, with 2 runs this inning. Siebert is in the bullpen, as you saw, and Johnson wants words with Culp and Gibson. Joe LaHood now is going toward right field, and that looks as if Tony Conigliaro is coming out of the ball game. There's going to be a change. The cart was going out to the bullpen. Tony coming in. He was out talking to Reggie Smith. He pointed to himself as if to say me, and Joe LaHood said yes. And Koenig has gone into the dugout. So the game and the series continue to take curious turns as the Red Sox trail 5-0. And there's going to be help from the bullpen for Ray Culp. Culp leaves the game after pitching 4 1/3 innings. He's had
his second appearance as a reliever for the Red Sox. On June 11th in Minneapolis, he went 5 good innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs. He didn't walk a man, and he struck out 5, and was the winner in this one. He is 5-5 with the Red Sox, but he is 5-6 overall. Sonny trying to pitch his way back into the rotation.
Well, he did a good job out there, and he was throwing a lot harder than he did at any time previously since coming to Boston. This is the 5th inning, and Oakland has a 5-0 lead. Runner at first base is Bando. Ball 1. Infield, double play depth. Runner going. Bouncer going through as the hit and run is executed perfectly. Bando goes to third. LaHood picks up, and how do you like that, sports fans? Cater, with the runner breaking, hit exactly the way he should. He hit behind the runner to the right side, and Schofield, who was dashing to cover the bag, was left flat-footed. He had no chance to make a play at all on a ground ball, which was a skimpy thing, but an effective one. And it sends Bando racing around to third. 2 times in this series, the Athletics have performed the hit and run to absolute perfection. They did it Friday night to the other side of the infield, as they had the shortstop, yesterday rather, the shortstop vacating the hole to cover, and they rammed a hit right past him. There is Monday fouling a pitch off, strike 1. Runners at first and third, still only 1 out. Siebert getting set. The fastball misses. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball, 2-2. The Athletics picked up a run in the third. They got 2 more in the fourth, a 2-run homer by Rick Mundy. And they've gotten 2 here in the fifth. A single by Rudy, a triple by Jackson, an error by Culp, and quickly 2 runs have countered. Sonny Siebert in there now. Schofield to Rico. They won't get the double play. A run will score. Nice takeout attempt by Cater going into second. He is erased 4-6. But on the fielder's choice, Mundy knocks in a run. Bando scoring the 6th Oakland run. It is 6-0. Dick Green is up. Mundy has 3 runs batted in. And the batter is Dick Green. That run is charged to Ray Culp. Ball 1. Six nothing Oakland, inning number 5. There goes Mundy, and no throw by Gibson. Pitch was a ball. He had the jump and stole a base. And they're running. They're doing everything. They're defensing. They're hitting the ball where it's supposed to be hit. They're playing hit and run, hitting with power. And doing the right things. Have outplayed the Red Sox in this series. Petrocelli to Jones, and that's it. In the Oakland 5th inning, 3 runs, 3 hits. There was an error and a man left. And at the end of 4 1/2, it's Oakland 6-0. And the Red Sox now must get up betimes and do something if they want to stay around in this series. George Scott leading off against Nash. Scott, Gibson, and LaHood do up this inning. Scotty struck out his first time up. Ball 1. Out of play. Minnesota 2, Cleveland 0 after 2 innings, and Detroit and Kansas City are scoreless after 4. Baltimore leads the White Sox 4-0 after 5 innings. New York leads Seattle 4-0 after 5. Very high. Cater will have a shot at it. 1 down. First baseman Danny Cater. Russ Gibson coming up. Single to right his first time. In the National League, Atlanta 6 and Pittsburgh 2 after 6 innings of play. Cincinnati leads the Cubs 5-4 now after 6 innings in their first game. St. Louis and Houston have gone 5 innings, and Joe Rudy's in the way. Can't get the Cardinals score right in. I think they're leading. They are leading 2-1. Strike to Gibson. Giants lead Montreal 2-0 after 1 inning in their first game. One ball, 1 strike count to Gibson. The Orioles play White Sox 2 today, and they have a good lead in the first game. McNally pitching. Very high, going foul down the line, and curving toward fair ground and dropping in foul. Just foul. That wasn't foul by too much. Right in there where you see it in the railing. The wind brought that over. It appeared that it would go in the crowd, but it hit just in between the line and the wall.
Ed, the center field flag is blowing in, and the flag on the grandstand is blowing directly out to left field.
I think predominantly the wind is blowing, still going out.
Yep.
There has been 1 home run today. Rick Mundy hit it into the far corner of the Red Sox bullpen area in the 4th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gibson. Dick Green playing that one at second base. 2 down. And we'll see Joe LaHood now, installed in the game, replacing Conigliaro in the top of this inning. And LaHood is hitting .136, 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Got some scores here on the National Open in Houston. Strike. Jack Ewing Jr. had a 73 today for a 299 total. Larry Hinson a 299. Dave Philo and Pete Brown with 299. Bill Ogden had a 75 today for a 298. Lionel Hebert shot a 73, finished up with 297. There is Green playing perfectly for LaHood. He plays one of the deeper second bases in the league anyway, and he was back on the grass for that one. So Joe LaHood hits it hard, but right at second baseman Dick Green. Nothing across, and after 5, well, first of all, let's look at it again. See where he's playing? Right out there, and hardly had to make too much of a move for it. He had position on LaHood that time. The end of 5, the score is 6-0. Schofield is 0 for 2. He was robbed of a hit his last time out on a good play by Dick Green, the second baseman. Ball 1. Foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Schofield. Baltimore 4-0 over Chicago after 6 innings now. It's raining again in New York with the Yankees leading Seattle 4-0. Ball 2. 2-1 to Schofield. They've got forecasts for rain here later this afternoon. It may be moving up from the south. I don't know, but it already has rained a game out in Washington. Pretty well stroked toward right. Back goes Jackson, and he can't get this one. Home run for Schofield. Well, the little guy has been trying for a home run in this ballpark and has come so close so many times that he finally got one out of there that the right fielder couldn't leap up and get. Jackson took one away from him last time on Friday night. This was into the visitors' bullpen for Schofield's first home run of the year. Lou Krause up in the bullpen now for Oakland. It's now a 6-1 ball game. Oakland out in front. I believe that is Schofield's first American League homer. He did not get any for the Yankees in 1966, the short time he played for them. Dalton Jones up. Hits the curveball to Cater. One out. Carl Yastrzemski up. He has fouled out and hit a long fly ball, which Monday backhanded near the wall in center field. That was in the fourth inning. He has really ripped that one. Now Hank Bauer has called time and wants to come out himself. Wind blowing out at Fenway Park, and we're just in the sixth inning. Wind is working in swirls now. It kicked up gusts around shortstop and third base in toward home. But if you get it up into that jet stream towards center, you should have it made. Curveball, ball one.
Of course, both Bauer and Posdell are watching very, very closely. They're on the second step in the dugout, Ned. I don't think Bauer or Posdell have taken their eyes off of him here in the last 5 minutes.
Ball two. He's working breaking stuff to Yastrzemski on the first couple of pitches.
I don't believe Nash is throwing quite as hard as he was earlier in the ball game, Ned.
Can sap a pitcher, this kind of humidity, even a Georgian. And more breaking stuff. Strike this time.
I remember in the heat one day in St. Louis, this happened when I was in the National League a couple of years ago, Ned. Pitcher called the third baseman and says, "Call me a cab."
Gets about as hot there and as humid as any place
was
in
it
the
hot.
majors, doesn't it? That and Washington and Baltimore. Good curve. He's thrown 4 curveballs to Yastrzemski. 2-2. Carl, with the count his way, has been waiting for the fastball, hasn't gotten it.
It's a good shot right there, shaking his head. Now he's got his sign.
Another curve. 3-2. 5 of them. Well, what do you think to throw now?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they threw him another curveball. Of course, he doesn't want Yastrzemski to get on. He wants to make him earn it. He hasn't, like you say, he has thrown him 5 straight curveballs, Ned. Yaz has been hitting the ball sharply every time.
Yeah, it's the curve, but there's Green, perfectly placed again. Dick Green playing just where he did for LaHood, back on the grass. And position meant everything right that time. 2 down.
Well, Yastrzemski's hit a lot of balls hard. Remember the first week over in Cleveland and in Baltimore, Ned, they were taking base hits away from him.
Couldn't buy a hit, but he was hitting it sharply, and that sent him into a slump.
Yeah, when you hit the ball good, you're really not into a slump. He's a type of hitter that, because he can do so much with a bat, that won't go into a prolonged slump.
Reggie 1 for 2, taking ball 1. Bill Landis now throwing in the bullpen for Boston. Golfed way up in the air to right. Jackson and Monday converging. Monday makes the catch. That's all. 1 run, 1 hit, a homer by Schofield. Nobody left. After 6 innings, there's your score. Oakland 6, Boston 1.
Thank you, John. Joe Rudy is up at the plate, and Rudy today has struck out, fouled out to Gibson, and singled to center field in the 5th and scored a run. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Look where Yaz is playing for Rudy. Rudy is a big boy. He's 6'3" and over 200 pounds. Two and 1. Foul ball. Two and 2. Roland is warming up in the bullpen now. And that is all for Joe Rudy. Reggie Jackson with a double and a triple and 2 runs batted in 3 trips. Fly ball to right field deep, and it is a home run. And he continues his tremendous series here in Fenway Park as he comes up with his 3rd hit, his 3rd RBI today. And just a tremendous series for this young man as he goes back into the Oakland dugout. "13 runs batted in the last 2 ball games. Sal Bando is up. Strike 1.
Ken, Jackson is, before that home run, was hitting 272. He came in here Friday night hitting 240, 243 or somewhere in that range. But since then, he's really worn us out.
Foul back. Well, I was saying over on the other side a while ago, John, I don't really recall. I've seen some visiting players come in here and have some great series, but this may be as good as anybody has ever done from a visiting club in this ballpark.
Well, he had 1 for 4 Friday night and 5 for 6 yesterday.
1 and 2. He has had A tremendous record. Landis warming up. Petrocelli gets Bando at first base on a close play. In this series, Jackson is 9 for 14, 2 singles, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 4 homers, 14 runs batted in, 5 runs scored, 2 walks. He has done it all, as they say. And here's Cater now with 2 out. Miller Barber is at 3 under after 56 holes. Moody at 1 under after 56. Rosberg even par after 57. Pitches a ball. And Beeman 1 over after 57 holes. Those who are in, John Miller had a 294 among, well, Bill Collins is the only name you might recognize at 297. Ball 2. Unless you happen to know Bert Green, Robert Stove, or Master Bowen. 2 balls and no strikes to count. 2 for 2 for Cater. 2-1. Two and two. Three and two. And Cater comes up with his 3rd hit. A single into center field for Danny Cater. So he and Jackson each have 3 hits apiece. And the batter now is Rick Monday, who has bounced out, homered, and reached on a fielder's choice and stole a base in the 5th inning. Oakland with a 7-1 lead. Foul back. Strike 2, the count on Rick Monday. And that is strike 3. So that's all for Oakland in the 7th inning. They pick up another run on a homer by Jackson, 2 hits, and a man left on. So after 6 1/2, Oakland 7, Boston 1. Jim Nash worked a total of 6 innings here this afternoon and gave up 4 hits and a run. He struck out 3 men, and he did not walk a batter. He also got some fine support on good fielding plays turned in by Green, by Cater.
Both at Boston, and he is 0-0 on the year against the Red Sox.
Rico Petrocelli will lead off. He has singled and reached on an error. Foul ball, and Haney is back under this one, and he's got it. Petrocelli fouls out, and now Siebert is in the spot here, and so Locke is going to bat for him in the number 6 spot in the order. One man out in the 7th inning, and Don Locke is up to bat for Sonny Siebert. Ball 1. Locke with the Red Sox has 4 for 12 and a .333 mark. 1 ball, 1 strike. Krause over the year has been in 17 ball games, an earned run average of 4.34. 2-1, and Krause on Friday night, in addition to pitching well, had a home run. Sal Bando after this one, and he's got it at the last instant. The wind gave it a whirl, but Sal caught the ball. Locke was all the way to second base. Here it is again, and the ball went way up in the air with Sal going over, and he was all set, and then he had to really hustle back and make the catch with Campaneris alongside. So with 2 out, the batter is Scott, who has struck out swinging and fouled out to the first baseman. Ground ball into center field for a base hit. Scott is on. Runner at first and 2 out, and Gibson at the plate. Russ had a single in the 3rd inning, and he grounded out to second base in the 5th. The Red Sox with 5 hits in the game. Strike 1. Strike 2 to Gibson. Ball 1, 1-2. The count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Russ. Fly ball to left field. Rudy back, and he makes the catch. At the end of 7, it is 7-1 Oakland.
So Dick Green is ready, and I believe you are too, Ken.
Well, John, Green stands in there with 0 for 3 today. He's flied to left, grounded to third, and to shortstop. Pitch is a ball.
Made 3 fine plays today, Ken. Ned and I were talking about him earlier, and he looks so much trimmer than he did a couple of years ago.
Well tagged to center. Smith back. It is up off the wall, and Green goes into second base standing with a double to lead off the 8th inning. So now 7 of these A's who started the game have base hits. All but Haney and Bando, other than the pitchers. And here's Haney, who has struck out swinging, popped up to second, and been called out on strikes. Well, there's been one trade over in the National League that we have received a word on. That's foul. The Montreal Expos traded Don Clendenin to the Mets for infielder Kevin Collins and 3 minor leaguers. So that is one deal that's been made today. There may be more. I'll try to feed you some of these other scores now. Detroit got 7 runs in the 5th and leads 7-0 over Washington at the end of 6 1/2. Northrop homered in the 5th with 2 on. Strike called. Cleveland and Minnesota tied 2-2 at the end of 4 with Hargan and Boswell. Baltimore 8-0 over Chicago at the end of 8. Blair homered in the 5th with 1 on. McNally is doing the pitching. First of 2. California and Washington postponed because of rain. Ball outside. New York 4, Seattle nothing at the end of 5. Time has been called at Yankee Stadium. It's raining in New York. Atlanta leads Pittsburgh 6-4 after 8 1/2 innings of play. Houston trails St. Louis 5-2 at the end of 8. Foul ball. Cincinnati beat Chicago 7-6 in the first of 2 games, nothing on the second. At San Diego, Philadelphia was scoreless in the first inning. San Diego batting now. New York and Los Angeles scoreless at the end of 1. Montreal 3, San Francisco 3 at the end of 4 in the first of 2. So that's what's happening elsewhere in baseball today. Runner at second base in the 8th with nobody out. Ground ball to Petrocelli. Rico throws to Jones, the runner going to third base, and he is safe. So Haney is out on a grounder to shortstop, and Dick Green goes over to third afterward. John Flaherty, the third base umpire, making the call. Runner at third and 1 out in the 8th inning, and Lou Krause is coming up. Krause hit a home run off Vicente Romo Friday night. From Maine to Connecticut, New Englanders have fun in the sun with Narragansett Lager beer, the good beer for the good hours. The infield is in. Oakland 7 and Boston 1. Strike 1. And Green had to really hustle back. He broke more than he figured, I guess, and he must have thought Gibson was going to throw the ball because he slid back to third base. Foul ball upstairs. Strike 2. Foul back. Still 2 strikes on Krause. Krause getting some rosin from Bert Campaneris in the on-deck circle. Don't forget, we'll be televising Tuesday night 7:45 is game time in Cleveland. Foul ball. Another foul back. One ball, two strikes. Krause looking down at his third base coach, John McNamara. Two and two.
Luke Krause looked an awful lot like his dad, Ken. I don't know whether you've been up close to him or not. When I first saw young Lou, I took a quick look. Of course, his dad was a fine pitcher with the old Athletics. Now, don't tell me I hit against him. I'll choke you.
No, well, I've been up close to Lou, but I've never met his dad. There's a drive to left, and it is off the wall. Yastrzemski throws it in, and it's a single by Krause to score a run. So he hits a home run on Friday night, and he comes back with a single off the wall here today, and it is now 8-1 Oakland. Campaneris at the plate with a runner on first and one down. Foul ball out of play. Way up into the last row of the lower seats over there on the first base side. Foul ball out of play. Danny Cater in this ball game today for Oakland has had 3 for 3, and he's gone up to 291. He's always, the last couple of years, been right up around the top. He was second to Yastrzemski last year in average in the American League. 1-2. A base hit to left field for Campaneris. And down to second base goes Krause. So there are runners at first and second. And now Joe Rudi is at the plate. He has struck out, foul to the catcher, single to center field, and struck out again. There is one man out in the 8th inning. Oakland in this ball game got a run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. They've got 1 here in the 8th. And they lead 8-1. Gary Rogenberg is warming up in the bullpen for Boston. There's a base hit into left. Yastrzemski decoying, and he holds the runner up by doing so. Krause had to get a late start because Yastrzemski pulled a good decoy on him in left field. So Rudi gets on to first base. Krause gets to third, and Campaneris to second. The bases are loaded. There have been 4 hits in this inning off Bill Landis, and the batter now is Reggie Jackson. In this series so far, Oakland has 33 runs, 35 base hits. The Red Sox have 9 runs, 18 hits. Oakland's made 4 errors, Boston's made 9. Now Jackson is going back over toward the dugout as you see Rogenberg warming up. He apparently wants another bat. Hank Bauer is saying something to him. He was kidding him a little bit yesterday, even though he had the great day. He got on him a couple of things, on a couple of different items during the course of the ball game. But Reggie is genuinely well liked by his teammates and by manager Bauer, a fellow that is really working at it, and he's 9 for 14 in the series and has driven in 14 runs, and here he is up there with the bases loaded.
This ought to be some kind of a record with him coming up there with the bases full.
He's had a double, a triple, and a home run today, and has been called out on strikes. He takes a ball. Funny thing, you know, when Lazeri had that big day against Philadelphia, I understand that the next day he had a big series too. Dick Williams and Darrell Johnson watching. Foul back. Among those with big RBI days, Bobby Doerr of the Red Sox once had an RBI day of 8. I think Ted Williams had one of 8 once. Oh! The ball apparently hit him on the right wrist. Jackson is hit on the right wrist, and here it we'll take another look at this one as the pitch comes in, and you see Jackson going down. The ball hit him on the right wrist, and Darrell Johnson has gone to the mound, and they're going to take Landis out here as Jackson is hit by a pitch, and another run is driven in by Jackson. And he gets a nice hand as he goes down to first base. So he has 15 runs batted in this series. Campaneris goes over to third. Jackson on first base, and Rudy now on second. Krause is in with the 9th run. And coming in to pitch is Rogenberg, as Bill Landis today worked 1/3 of an inning. They play 4 games there and then come back home with New York and Cleveland here. It's been a strange kind of year for the Red Sox. They've had a better road record and have played better baseball on the road than they have at Fenway Park. Bando is up. The pitch almost gets away. Ball 1. And Campaneris had a pretty good lead down from third base. Ball 2 as Gibson makes another save. Drive to left field, and it is a grand slam home run. Sal Bando has hit a grand slam homer, and it is 13-1. The fans here at Fenway give him a big round of applause. That's his second grand slam of the year. He hit one in Oakland off George Brunette of the Angels. So the fans who have wanted to have something to cheer about are cheering the Athletics at this stage as Cater comes up. Strike. Five of the runs in this inning are charged to Landis, who left the bases loaded. One ball, one strike on Cater, who's had 3 for 3 today. Foul ball, Jones over, and Dalton makes the catch. Rick Monday is at the plate now, the 9th man to bat in this inning. He has grounded out, homered, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out. Strike one. Sal Bando with 2 grand slam home runs this season now. One and one. Two balls, one strike. The Red Sox have used 11 pitchers in this series. Foul ball. Two balls, two strikes. Fly ball to left field, and it is off the wall. Yastrzemski chasing it in, throws into second base, and he is safe at second. Don Denkinger called him safe, and Dick Schofield is being thrown out of the game by Denkinger, and Dick Williams is coming out now as Schofield continues to really get into it with the umpire at second base. Schofield is really infuriated, and Williams is in on it now too with Denkinger. Well, Rick Monday is back at second base. He had made the turn, and now Williams is at it too, and he's getting the heave-ho. Ejected from the ball game as well as Schofield. He's talking there with Marty Springstead. Now he's going over to talk to John Flaherty, who is the veteran umpire in this crew, the umpire at third base. Well, Schofield was out and Williams was thrown out. And O'Brien is going in to play second. Dick arguing with John Flaherty about it now. Dick continues to go at it. And now he's on his way out. He may have a parting word for Springstead. Here it is again. The ball going out to left field. And Yastrzemski decoying again. Had to chase this ball in. Now Monday had taken a big turn at second base. Here is the throw. And Schofield putting the tag on Monday. And I think you can see why Williams and Schofield were as incensed as they are. Sid O'Brien is now at second base. And Green is Monday on second base with a double. And a couple of towels come out of the Boston dugout. That's Don Fitzpatrick, the equipment manager, picking them up, as Dick must have thrown them out going up the runway. There's a strike. Foul back. Strike two. Wall 1-2, and now gusts of dust around the infield. Fairly strong breeze blowing across now toward right. And you can see it there on your screen. Suddenly came up. 1-2 the count. Two and two. The Athletics with 15 base hits in this ball game. Strike three, and now Green is angry himself, and that's all in the eighth inning. So they came up with 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go into the last half of the 8th inning. 13-1 Oakland. There's Kubiak. Joe LaHood is up. He lined out to the second baseman Green in the 5th inning. Green to Cater. LaHood is retired. 1 away. Schofield, of course, has been ejected, so O'Brien is coming up for the first time, and Schofield hit a home run in the 6th inning of this game. He was robbed of a hit in the 3rd by Green and was called out on strikes his first time, so O'Brien's up for the first time. Ball 1. Line drive, and Monday goes over to get it. Fine catch by the center fielder. Very well done by Rick Monday. Here it is again, as O'Brien clipped the ball well, and look at him go. He's got fine speed, and he reaches out to take it for out number 2. The batter is Dalton Jones. He is grounded to third, grounded to first, and bounced out to first unassisted. Ball 1. Ball 2, 2-0. Ball 3. Lou Krause on in relief of Jim Nash, who went the first 6 innings pitching for Oakland with a 13-1 lead in the 8th. Three and 1. Fly ball to right. Jackson back. And he makes the catch in right field to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. At the end of 8, the score, Oakland 13 and Boston 1.